Alright, here we go for the long-awaited part 2 of my video. I just had a bunch of stuff to do and some things went down and I just didn't really have a chance to put it in. I tried going to a few installers when I got desperate after having this thing for almost 2 months and not having it installed after paying so much for it that I went and asked Harley and a couple mechanics around town, and Harley wanted way too much money for it. They wanted to charge me 2 hours to install it, which I think they're crazy for even suggesting that. I would have flirted with maybe an hour, but 2 hours, that's ridiculous. It's a 20-minute job, supposedly. And local guys, just apparently this thing's not as popular on the East Coast as it is on the West Coast. I'm in Florida, so I didn't think anybody wanted to touch it. It seemed like it. It's sad when mechanics just won't be forward straight up with you and just tell you they don't want to deal with it. But at any rate, I got a little Queen going in the background. I got a bunch of tools. I got this up on my tow device, courtesy of RMC. Look them up. I've had 2 versions of this. This is the updated version now, and it's sweet. And it's going to give me just enough clearance to do what I got to do without having this thing on a lift. So, step 1, I'm removing the left saddlebag. I'm going to drop the left pipe. I might have to loosen the header bolts. I don't really want to do that, so I don't have to mess with the seals, but I'll do what I have to do. And then I don't have anybody to hold the camera, so once I get a step further, I'll let you know what's going on. But a little shout out to my boy at RMC Cycle Inc. This thing's amazing. Built like a tank. I have a YouTube review on it too, but I should definitely check it out. Alright, so kind of on my own with this one. I got the bags off, like I said. I had to pull the exhaust off, which, by the way, 4.5-inch Reinhardts weigh a lot. I wish I would have known that when I was deciding. And I've got the actual stabilizer taken apart. Just keep track of the bolts, get your blue Loctite, and we'll see what happens. Not sure how it's going to go in underneath, but I'll figure it out. I'll let you know. But first thing, bags, exhaust, and I'll sort through the rest in a minute. That's the back bolts that they give you. I'll figure out where those go in a minute. So here's the update. They lie. Alright, so, or maybe it's not their fault, because I have this Reinhardt custom exhaust. I actually had to take the entire exhaust off the bike, because that guy right there was interfering from where I have to put the stabilizer. So now I've got both sides of the exhaust off, both saddlebags off, and a bunch of nuts that I hope. Oh yeah, in order to get this off, I had to take the footboard off too. But hopefully I can get this thing put back together when I'm done. But yeah, if you're doing this on a 2017, 2018 Street Glide, it's going to be a little bit of an experience. But I definitely recommend it. I just realized 2 of my head gasket bolts were loose, so it was a matter of probably a couple more rides before those things fell off. So I'll make sure that they get put on properly. Make sure not to mess those guys up. Little seals right there. There's the inside of my engine. Sorry, bike's filthy. We just got back from Daytona Bike Week. But I'll make sure to clean this up after I'm done working on it. Alright, we're making some progress. This is the first look really at how it goes on. So there's the oil pan bucket, as they call it. 5 bolts, or you need a 3/16 Allen. I just left that arm on there, but essentially that arm's going to be right here, and it's going to attach to the pan. It's going to attach to here with this little brace behind it. This stuff, that's what they recommend you use. So I just put a healthy dose of that, and then you got to put these screws in a star pattern. So here, then here, then here, then here, then here, and I just kind of went around until I had it nice and secured. And Yeah, this thing ain't going nowhere. So, and I kind of understand what they're doing now. They're basically reinforcing the engine, basically, which is attached to the oil pan, to the frame right here. So I don't know. Hopefully, all this work is worth it. But I'll let you guys know when I do my first test ride. But now to get the second portion of it. So really, the biggest job is just getting this stuff taken apart and getting the exhaust system. And I think that just has a lot to do with the stage kit that I had put on with the aftermarket exhaust. So I think if you're doing this on a stock 2017, it actually shouldn't be too bad. I was just complaining earlier because I didn't plan on doing this and skipping dinner. So. All right, you'll have to forgive my OCD. I actually had to clean that off a little bit before I finished installation. But yeah, that's all right. Anyway, so upper dog bone. That's what this is called. This is all making sense now. That goes right up in here. Pops right into place. And that will give the lower plate, this guy, something to grab onto. And it's all basically milled out so you know exactly where to put it. So it's gonna go basically like that. Sorry about that, I'm doing it all one-handed. And then the helm joint, which is that guy, is gonna connect here. So that, and then the helm joint, sorry, it's gonna swing forward and connect right. Wow, this is a terrible video. Sorry about that, guys. All right, and it's gonna connect right there to the upper dog bone. All right, and then there's some bolts that this is gonna stick on. So you're really not losing that much ground clearance, honestly. I mean, I usually scrape my footboards before I even come close to any of that stuff, but I guess if you're going over something, you might lose I'd say a ½ inch or something, but not too bad. All right, so sorry about the shaky video. I'm gonna try and finish this off and let you know what it looks like completed. There's my handy dandy torque wrench. All right, there she is in all her beauty. Helm joint, a bucket, plate, and the I don't know if you can see it behind the wishbone, the dog bones right there, which is attached here and here. That there's a little kind of nut thing that comes with it that goes behind that to attach it. I mean, this is really solid. It's not going anywhere. The smaller rounded ones are 20 foot-pounds, and the larger flat bolts are 30 foot-pounds. And then what you got to do when you put this helm joint on is to make sure it's in a neutral position, so you should be able to kind of wiggle a little bit, and then you use these two nuts to lock it down. But that's what it looks like. Realistically, depending on the exhaust system, the actual unit itself should really only take about 15 minutes to install, but depending on the exhaust system you have and the year Harley you have, I mean, it could take easily an hour. And that's it. I'm gonna ride it. I'll make another video and let you guys know how it performs.